really weird, like not having a camera where I'm just like holding it up, you know? Like, what's up, guys? So Justin behind the camera right now doing the shooting. Big thanks to Justin. Go follow him, Iron J Moto. Today's episode, we are looking at the brand new 2023 Harley-Davidson Breakout, which is returning to the US. So it was discontinued for 2 years in the US, was still being released over in Europe, low, lean, fat tire. So for the return of this, come check this thing out real quick. We'll show you guys some crispy B-roll as well. So we got larger tank, 5-gallon tank. We got a redesigned seat to accommodate that larger tank, so comfier. 26 spoke, new wheels, lots and lots of chrome on this thing. Coming with the 117 cubic inch Milwaukee 8. So for those of you that don't know, the 117 used to only come in the CVOs, but now they're offering it in the regular bikes as well, non-CVO. Single gauge on the top. Got the LED headlight, which is cool because it's the one that looks like Danger Will Robinson, right? It's the one that they have in the FXDR as well, which I'm a big fan of. Dual shotgun, offset 2-to-2 exhaust. I actually like how they've done kind of the stepped paint where it looks like a little more offset, gives it like that layer vibe. It's a good looking bike. So we're gonna ride it today down to New Smyrna to go watch Sons of Speed vintage racing. So we're gonna basically go from a 2023 Harley-Davidson and we're gonna go check out like early 1900s Harley-Davidsons. Do a test ride on it, give you guys thoughts, feedback during the ride. And then when we get there, we'll kind of wrap up when we get back. And hope you guys enjoy the test ride video. It is freaking beautiful here. I love Florida. Sorry, baby, I'm leaving Goldzilla here. I'm not cheating. I mean, it's okay. Stop looking. Chrome on chrome on chrome. Sheesh. I actually really like the Breakout, the way they did the font. Forward controls. My shit is barely missing that air cleaner, but that's why they do the air cleaner like that forward. All right, so before we get on to the main road, enjoy the sights here of the beautiful Speedway. I'm gonna go over the controls. We'll do this in traditional test ride fashion. The point of these test rides is to basically tell you guys how the bike makes me feel in terms of power, comfort, ergonomics, handling, all that stuff. It's not meant to be too tech or spec heavy, but we do give those to you guys as well. So if you guys are interested in possibly purchasing a Harley-Davidson Breakout, it should hopefully guide you in the right direction, give you a good feel for what you might be getting into if you're gonna buy the bike. So, left side, clutch, options, which I'll go through the menu here. It's a little options button on the top. You got your horn, high beam, low beam, or pass light. Below that, you've got left indicator, and you do have cruise control on here as well. So yeah, that's everything on the left. Cruise control, very, very big one there that you guys are going to care a lot about. So you basically press in to set, it's going to turn on there, and then you press in to turn on. Turns on there, as you guys can see in the indicator on the gauge, and then down to set, up to resume, press back in to turn off. In the center, you have this very nice flush gauge, so you've got your fuel level on the left side there, miles per hour, then your odometer. You're going to press that selection switch here. It'll take you to trip A, trip B, remaining mileage based on the amount of gas that you have. You press it again, it's going to take you to the time, and then to RPMs. So I'm going to leave it in RPM just so I can kind of keep an eye on it. I do like looking at the RPMs. It's pretty quick to update, but it's not immediate like a normal tack. That's probably my biggest criticism of the digital gauge. I'm used to having the analog, right, the 2 gauges on the Low Rider S. So I've got a 2020 Harley-Davidson Low Rider S, and it's got the speedometer and the RPMs, some separate, nice analog goodness. But yeah, tons of information in this gauge. I'm a big fan of it. It also tells you the gear that you're in, and then all your indicators below that, so left, right, engine lights, tire pressure, high beam, neutral, battery, all that stuff. And then you got your gear indicator in your upper right there. On the right side, your throttle, front brake, on, off, hazard, and your starter, and then your right indicator. Whee! This bike is smooth. Yeah, obviously no wind protection, so no windshield or anything like that. I think they do sell some stuff where if you do want to put like fairing or windshield or anything on it, you can throw it on there. There's, you know, it being Harley-Davidson, there's obviously like an absolute ton of accessories that Harley-Davidson does offer for it. And then with it being Harley-Davidson again, there's a lot of aftermarket support, tons of aftermarket accessories for it as well. You got the Breakout badge, Harley-Davidson there on the dash, 1903. Big fan of the design of that, looks cool. So traditionally, there's 2 things working against this bike when it comes to handling. 1, it's raked out a bit longer. 2, it's got a fat rear tire. 117 cubic inch Milwaukee 8 provides a plenty of power, guys. So if you guys aren't familiar with the channel and Blockhead Moto or Blockhead Garage, so I do own a performance motorcycle shop, and we work on Milwaukee 8s all day, every day. and we're seeing like really great numbers from the 107s to the 114s, the 117s, 131s, 135s, lots of options, 135 being the most recent for the Milwaukee 8 platform from Harley-Davidson, and then you have aftermarket options as well. But yeah, you see a great response from these engines whenever you start to tune them, to work them up a bit, because Harley-Davidson does leave a lot of power left to be tapped into, which is awesome. With a Stage 2, this bike absolutely screams. I mean, you're looking at like 130 horsepower torque range right in there, which is amazing, especially over stock for just the Stage 2. And then you do have the options for Stage 4 if you're looking to upgrade power and all that. But stock, I mean, because a lot of you guys want to obviously keep it stock, you've got just an absolute ton of power off the bat. The power delivery is like very nice, very linear, very comfortable, predictable, which is instills confidence. Notes of bar setup. So the mirrors, I am looking at my arms. We are going over some good bumps right now. Suspension is great. The suspension is just really nice on these things. Monoshock suspension. It does feel like it takes a bit more to like throw it over into the turns on that turn, but that doesn't keep it from being like pretty flickable, you know. So yeah, like I was saying about the mirrors, I am looking at my arms. If I were to like aim them out a little bit, I'd still be looking at my arms, and so that's one of those downsides to the mirrors, unfortunately. Leaning it over feels great. I mean, I'm pretty much right on the edge of scraping though. My heel is touching. It's not really meant to be one of those bikes that you can like really lean over. I mean, it handles great, and it doesn't take a lot to like throw it over into the turns. I mean, it's a lower bike, and so it's going to be a bit easier to scrape than say like a Low Rider ST, right? Because that's raised up. The ergonomics are much different on that, or the stance and the suspension is much different on that. But it does feel incredibly comfortable with the suspension setup, leaning it over like that. You're hitting bumps in the turns and stuff like that, and it's still predictable and manageable. So it feels great. I did stiffen up the back. It does have an adjustable rear monoshock. I stiffened that up a little bit for my weight. Yep, like right on the edge of scraping there, like my boot's touching. It's kind of like a pre-warning. Let your foot, like your heel, hang off a little bit. So I had maybe like another inch, half inch to go. Every inch matters though, right? So the seating ergonomics, yeah, you do have the forward controls, so I'm comfortable. I feel good. I don't feel too crunched up. The FXDR, so I had an FXDR for a while, about a year, and on that one I definitely felt more like crunched up, taco shape. So we throw cruise control on here. Perfect. Yeah, I think the bars are a bit lower on the FXDR, so they were like more like here because they were clip-ons, right? So these ones, like, at least you're kind of up a bit, and then it's a traditional style like drag bar, comes back, not leaning too far forward, my back is straight. Yeah, it feels good. Over a long period of time, I don't know, you might start to feel it in the back, but the seat actually feels good, and it's holding you in. It's got that little rear lip on the back, which holds you in real nice. So far, so good, nice and comfy, trying to really get a feel for it, rocking back and forth there. So like I was saying with the forward controls, so your rider triangle is very acute, right? So rider triangle being your point of contact on the bars, point of contact in the seat, so like your hips, and your point of contact on the pegs. So here, here, here. With my feet forward and this air cleaner, the air cleaner does barely miss my shin. If I were to try to pull my feet in on the pegs a little bit more, it would be touching my shin. So I would definitely recommend, if you guys are considering this bike, to sit on one first and kind of see how that sets. So yeah, with me just putting it up there, as you guys can see, it does miss the shin, which is good. I am 5 foot 10 inches tall. I'm sorry, I do not know what my inseam is, which I know is probably the more important measurement. And you guys are yelling at me in the comments section right now for, what do you mean you don't know your inseam? Bro, I have not been fitted for a suit and I don't know how long. Like, this is literally my uniform, all right? Like, I work in the motorcycle industry. I wear boots, black Levi's or gray Levi's, and a black t-shirt almost every day. It's a pretty amazing outfit. I'm not really a suit wearer. Yeah, I haven't been measured in a while. I mean, I guess I could get that measurement myself, which might be useful. Maybe I'll do that. But as of recording this video, I have not. I don't know that information, so sorry guys. But I don't have the longest legs. I'd say I'm pretty like normally proportionate. Yeah, 5 foot 10. I'm very just like average. I'm so average. I have no problem with being average. I know this is going off on an aside thing, but my brothers, I want to say one of them's like 6'4", the other one's like 6'3". They always had problems finding shirts that fit them, pants that fit them, and now, unfortunately, they're having back problems and they're younger than I am, and so some downsides to, you know, being above average. So me being totally average, hell yeah, look at those drag tires on the back of that thing. Yeah, me being totally average, I never had problems finding anything like gloves that fit me correct, pants, boots, and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants, or motorcycles, because that is one of those things. Like if you are a taller rider, you're getting into that like 6'3" plus territory, definitely go sit on a bike and see if it fits and feels you well, because they do have to design these things to fit the ergonomics of like most average people, right? So you might not be in the best. So if you are taller, or if you are shorter even, hell, even if you're average, go sit on the bike, see how it feels for you, and make your decision from there. Let's look at this group behind us. All right. So I'm gonna get to give you guys some Interstate feedback with no wind protection, which is totally fine. I have found that you either want no wind protection or you want all the wind protection. Whenever you get that like kind of half and half, so like a lot of these fairings, they'll come up like halfway and they'll keep the air like off your chest, which is great. But if they're like kind of halfway keeping air like off of your helmet and you're like halfway in the wind, halfway out, that's what causes the buffeting, right? Buffeting leads to like micro adjustments, and you're basically using like your neck muscles and stuff to like adjust constantly. Also your vision through your visor and stuff is shaky, and so that like tends to tire you out really fast. So if you just have constant wind, that's a lot better than the halfway wind. I mean, this thing is a 6-speed, so we're gonna get to stretch its legs a little bit. God, that feels so comfortable, just being able to like lean it over like that. So yeah, I mean, pretty much as expected, you know, taking wind to the chest, taking wind to the helmet, but as long as it's not too blustery and like, you know, the wind isn't too bad, which it doesn't really seem to be right now. It feels pretty constant. It's not a huge deal. You are going to have wind noise on the helmet, obviously. If you guys, once again, do want to do a windshield or anything like that, any wind protection, they do make it. We are set at about 72, 75-ish miles an hour, 6th gear at 2,600 RPM. Feeling solid, stable, nice and planted, smooth. I'm sure you guys can tell by the video, there's, you know, a little bit of, you know, this like in the road on the interstate here, but bike feels great. So with the 117 Milwaukee, plenty of power, getting up to speed, no problem in the merge and stuff. We didn't really like super get on it there, but you know, if you're in traffic like this and you're kind of wanting to position yourself a little differently, it's got plenty of power on tap, right? So we're in 6th gear, so if I were to like let him get ahead of me a little bit, and I go down to 5th and then pull a little bit, it gets up and going pretty easy. And I actually got room to go down into 4th, so if I drop another gear, it's even more responsive. So you definitely have room at highway speeds, interstate speeds, to drop a gear or two and to navigate and position yourself differently if you are in traffic. Or if you just want to cruise, boop, hit that cruise control button, you're good to go. Send a text message, read a book, open your diary, whatever. Just kidding. You guys know I'm always joking. Don't do any of those things. Gotta ride safely, stay vigilant, always be paying attention. It sounds good stock. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. So coming to a stop as well, forgot to mention, once again, me being 5'10", this is what my leg looks like coming to a stop. So easily flat footing it. There is a bit of a bend in my knee as well, so it does have a low seat height. I don't know the exact number, we'll display it on the screen right there. Yeah, so pretty low seat height, just in case any of you vertically challenged riders out there that are interested in this thing. Yeah, you should be all right. If you're interested, go sit on it, go do a test ride. The cool thing about Harley-Davidson is that they host events all the time. You can literally walk into one of the dealerships, even when they're not hosting an event, and you can go test ride their motorcycles. They're one of the few brands and manufacturers where you are literally able to walk into the dealership and say, hey, I'm interested in that motorcycle, and they will be like, cool, sign this form, let's go test ride it. So whenever we were on the highway and I had the forwards, you know, was kind of pushing back a little bit, and I mean, we weren't on the highway for very long, but it's one of those things, it's like, it's a preference, like, do you like forwards or would you want mids? But with my bike, you know, I own a 2020 Harley-Davidson Low Rider S. It's not mids, but they're like slightly forward mids, so they're not quite like here, but they're like here. I'm more of a fan of that, I think, but forwards really don't like that. I don't mind them, but like a longer distance, I could definitely see myself like wanting to like reposition my leg somewhere else. And you do have passenger pegs here, so if you like wanted a different spot to put your feet, you could go there, and then you could like easily put your leg back right there, which provides like a little bit of relief, because it's like you're able to like reposition, like angle your hips, like just kind of change your leg positioning a little bit. And if you don't want them, just flick it up out of place. There you go. All right, so that was the ride to Sons of Speed. So we're gonna go check this out, vintage motorcycle racing, and then we will return to the demo ride on the way back to Daytona. So to be continued. All right, guys, we have made it back to the Speedway and wrapping up the demo ride on the 2023 Harley-Davidson Breakout, the return of the Breakout. So overall thoughts, opinions. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the low, long, raked out, bigger front tire, fatter rear tire look. I don't normally gravitate towards chrome, but the chrome looks great on this thing. I think we're definitely seeing that whole cyclical, you know, where chrome was kind of out for a while, everybody was doing black bikes, and now we're seeing kind of like a resurgence of chrome kind of pop back up into the designs of bikes, which I'm loving. Seat, comfy, highway speeds, pretty predictable, you know, with the wind on the chest and the helmet, clean air, as Matt was saying. Handling felt good. It did take a little bit more to throw into the turns, obviously, because of the longer rake and the wider rear tire. Performance is great with the 117, lots of power on demand, and if you guys are interested in making it even more powerful, there's plenty of room for this bike to grow. With just the stage 2, like I was saying, you guys are looking at like the 130-ish horsepower torque numbers. LED headlight on this thing looks sick. Danger Will Robinson. Overall, I loved it. Suspension was nice, adjustable once again, so if you guys are looking to adjust it, adjuster's right there. Don't touch your hand to the exhaust like I just did if you're adjusting it, because it's hot. The single gauge with the indicators down below, really super clean on the bars. You don't have like a big gauge sticking out here, which I like a lot. There's a ton of information in this gauge. Cruise control on the bike, it's a great bike. Obviously, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea being like low, long, but they did raise the bars up a little bit too, adds to that rider comfort so you don't feel like you're leaning forward as much, and fits me great being 5'10", really low seat height. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this demo ride. If you do have any questions on this bike, do me a favor, drop them down in the comments below. Let me know, and I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention brakes. Single disc front brake, floating rotor, same on the rear. Yeah, overall, really liked it. If you guys have any questions, like I said, post down in the comments below. Let me know. I'll answer to the best of my knowledge. If you guys want additional information on this bike, be sure to check out the link as well, which I'll drop a link to this bike to Harley-Davidson's website so you guys can get those real nitty-gritty detailed tech specs on there. Big thanks to Harley-Davidson for setting me up with the bike here at Daytona Bike Week. I really appreciate it. Definitely going to be back to try out some more bikes. So you guys be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to continue to see those videos. Be sure to hit that bell icon as well so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Until next time, you guys ride safe out there, stay vigilant, and catch you guys in the next one. Peace.